Well, hello my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I am back like I promised you that we're going to be working a sweater out of the stitch I just shared with you in the previous episode, the cat's paw lace Shetland stitch. I said for those who, I gave some smaller projects on that video, but the main goal was to start a new sweater for the people who like knitting sweaters with me. So I'm simply going to be able to just simply walk you through. This is my cat's paw wildflower lace sweater pattern. It is so pretty. Just very easy, but just looks pretty. And of course I want to walk you through and tell you everything. So first of all, we're going to get right into it. Now, right before this, you saw the my printed, try to give you an information sheet. And that's mainly what we're going to go over tonight, because the stitch, I've already taken care of the stitch. I'm hoping that maybe if I separate it a little bit like I did the stitch, that way I'm not rushed. I can really dive into it, explain it, or whatever. That one was pretty simple. It's only like 6 rows. But maybe that will help me to kind of cut down on the tutorials. And plus, it will help me to work smarter and not harder. And try to get it all in on one video. So, like I said, tonight, this is the cat's paw wildflower lace. Now, doesn't that look just like a pretty field of, I don't know, just pretty wildflowers or something? I always thought it was flowers. I was surprised when I learned the name of the stitch was cat's paw. I guess I have to look real hard if I see. I don't have a cat, so I have to look real hard. So, but anyway, what I'm going to do tonight is break down this sheet that that came on at the beginning of the video. I don't expect you to see this, but I want you to know, I always like you to know what my numbers represent and how to read it, because I try to make it as simple as possible. I knit from one line or crochet from one line. I just try to set it up because that's the way I had to teach myself in order to keep it simple and to remember my steps. So this will be step 1. This will be step 1, and this is a bottom. This is the back of the sweater. I've already got most of my back done. This is the back of the sweater. In fact, it's one of my favorite styles of sweater to knit. Remember, we just did the other sweater, the blue one was style number 1, where you had a front, a back, and another front all in one big piece of fabric, and it is a lot to work with. This one is a little less because you start at the very back, at the very bottom, and you work all the way up to the top of your shoulders. Then we take out a certain number of stitches for a neck, and I'm going to show you how to always calculate that, and then take not only each front over, but your front border or edge or decorative stitch over the front, so that it's all included when you go over the front of the sweater and come down each front. You'll separate the neck and go down the right side, then come back and go down the left side. Saves you a lot of time. So let's get into it. Let's see what I can share with you. Let me just think now. Okay, and like I said, this is style number 2. We're working from the back of the sweater, working up. So my long line. All right, on my sheet. That's what this is. That's what this is about tonight. Going over the formula and just showing you how to lay it out in a simple way. First thing on this sweater, I'm going to tell you, when I started doing this little design, years ago, the first thing you want to do is think of your neckline. Back in the day when I was teaching myself, I didn't do that. I would just stick stuff randomly, and then when I got up to the neck, I couldn't figure out how to end the stitches or decrease them, or I just wasn't there. I just didn't, and I had to think of ways. What do I need to do? But this style is so easy because this style you work from how many stitches you need to go up the center back, not from the whole back, just the center. And then when you get up to the top at the neck, which we'll do in as I go on, you already have neck stitches, the number of stitches you need, not only to bind off so many for the neck, but also have some extra stitches on each side of the neck that will follow this side over this front, and there's so many stitches on this side, we'll just continue across the front over there. Does that make sense? You'll see it, if that doesn't, it will become plain, I promise you. So that's the best thing about this sweater. You calculate the center and your neck and your front edge border all before you ever start. So when you cast on, it's already included. How about that? So let's look at this. All right, I'm using my number 9 needles for my sweater as usual. I suggest a 36 inches in length or 48. If you have a 50, or I think they come in 50, that's good. Just to give yourself a nice space to spread your stitches out on. I'm using number 4 weight yarn, so you might want to try this in a number 4. But now, I'm using Karen Simply Soft, and it's a lighter weight number 4 yarn than, say, Vanna or what's that other? Heartland. They knit up a lot thicker. So this one is a little lighter. So it's summertime here. It's gonna get hot. It's already hot. But think of your yarn. Think of your yarn. Unless you're in a cooler or colder weather, then you do a regular number 9. Number 9. It can be any quality of yarn you want. That is up to you. I am not, y'all have never heard me go on about the yarn. I am more about the stitch and what I'm trying to share with you, how to think, how to come up with just simple, putting together simple schematic, how to take what you think and bring it to life. How about that? All right, and as you get better at it, then buy better yarn. Do whatever you want, okay? I'm happy where I am. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. All right, there's some special notes. We saw in the book there was a ladder steek, which was a nice lace. It is 4 stitches. Then the cat's paw lace is 13. In the book, she gives you 7 stitches, and remember I added the 3 on each side, 3 stitches on each side, which brings the count to 13. That's how I'm going to use this stitch in the combination that I have already made. So here's a steek, then the cat's paw, then the second steek. When you add those up, it's 21. Now remember that, because I'm going to show you in just a minute where that 21 will go and what you'll do with it. The center back and the neckband stitches, which I've shared, which is what you're going to wind up with once you work all the way up to where you want to stop the neck, bind off the neck, and then we'll have some neckband stitches. All right. For small to medium, you're going to have 24. That's going to be in the formula. I'm just letting you know right here what these numbers represent. Then for large to 1X, you're going to have 30. And then 2X to 3X, we're going to work with 32. Now, since this one, I do have to say this. Normally I'm in the middle. Okay, but tonight, on this one, I'm going up because the yarn is a little thinner than what I normally use, and I wanted this sweater to be nice and loose. It's more like a little sweater jacket. Once we get through, you'll see it. And I wanted it to be a little looser, so I thought I'd try the 2X to 3X. Okay. Okay, since, fluff has happened, so 2X to 3X. All right, so now let's go over each formula. Like I said, you don't have to try to read this because you'll be able to see it on the screen, but I'm going to read it out to you. All right, small to medium. The formula will read, let's see if I'm even anywhere. Okay, yeah. The formula will read B, which stands for border, B3 plus 8. Those are filler stitches. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. I'm going to just read it first. B3 plus 8, those are filler stitches. Then plus 21. What is the 21? The 21 is 4, the steek, the cat's paw, 13, and 4. So that's the cat's paw right there, 21. Does that make sense? 24 is the number I need for the center back for this small to medium. 24. And then simply, once you pass the center, then you repeat everything on this side over here. So I don't have to just keep talking. Here's what you have when you get to the center, 24. Then I just repeat. I need 21 stitches plus 8 plus a B3. This person would cast on 88 stitches to start this. If you're going to work, you know, if you like that side, if you like the fit of 88 stitches, only you know that. The ones who have worked with me, you know if you need to fluffy on up, or if what you've been working with fits nice, and you have a, you know, it's not too tight. All right, here's where I use it. I'm using large to 1X. Again, I have a border of 3 plus 9. Those are just filler stitches. Plus 21. The 21 is the steek right up here where I've already went over the steek and the cat's paw. So there's 21 plus 30. That's my center back and my little, you know, stitches at the neck. Ooh, I hit the camera, sorry. Now all I have to do is repeat all of that on this side. 21, 9, B3. I have a cast on of 96 stitches. Is it kind of ringing a bell? Does it make sense? Okay, just one line. All right, but I'm doing this one. I'm doing the 2X or 3X. I just wanted to see how the size would fit and you know. So this one starts with a border of 3. All of them do. But now this one is a little larger, so I have the extra stitches. I have 12 extra stitches to fill in. I had 12 stitches left over on this side and on this side. So 12 stitches, then the 21, you know what that is now, plus 32 stitches for the back. Does that make sense? And then 21 again, plus 12, plus B3. So I'm casting on 104 stitches. That's my stitch count for this sweater, starting at the very bottom, at the back, at the very bottom edge down here. Then you simply cast on your, like I said, cast on your stitch count and knit 2 rows. And down here I have knit, right there I simply knit 2 rows. Just knit. Now I'm going to walk you through. Now I'm going to go back and break it down so that you can see, because you'll be placing markers. And of course I've already knit up my back, but you'll be, now let me see where I am on the camera. Let's see if I need to pull it over. Alright, let me adjust my camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so now this is a large piece of fabric, and you know, I'm going to try my best to get as much in the frame, because you don't have to see the whole thing. You just need to see the first half, and then you make the second half match the first half. Alright, so I'm way past put my little markers down here, so I've just laid out some little strips of color yarn, just so that as I read across, you'll know exactly where to put your markers. Alright, for my size, I'm doing number 3. It starts with 2X or 3X. It starts with a border of 3. So now I've knit my 2 rows. That's the first thing. You've knit your 2 rows, and now you're on the right side. You're over here on the right side, so you knit 3 stitches and put a marker. Okay? Then you knit, what's the next number I have? I have 12 stitches, so I knit across 12. Alright? And I'd put a marker. Then it starts the combination, the 21 stitch combination of a steek, which is here. That's the little 4 stitches. You remember what it was? Knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Same stitch we just covered. I guess I should have put it on the paper again, but I figured you'd know it by now. So that's the ladder. That's the ladder steek. It's 4 stitches, knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit on every row, whether you're on the right side or wrong side. So you definitely need a marker here. This is where I'd put the marker. Right before the steek, then I'd do the stitch, knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, then I'd put an end marker. Then there should be 13 stitches. Alright, but we're not going to start this right away, just like we did on the stitch tutorial. You're just going to knit across 13 stitches and put the marker for the next steek. Start it. Then it's 4 stitches, knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, put a marker. Can you see that? All right. I want to give a little space. Remember, we need a little space before we start the cat's paw. So we're going to have about 4 rows in here. So, but you want to go ahead and put your markers in right now. Then, of course, look and see what your center count for your center stitches. On my size, on number 3, 2x or 3x, I need 32 stitches. So then I'm going to go ahead, because I've already cast on, you know, I have my right number of stitches. So then I'm going to go ahead and do, you know, how many stitches I need to, before I put the next marker. The next marker, I don't know if you can see it over here. But I'm just going to knit across that back. No, you can't see it all the way. Okay. But I'll just knit across that back and simply repeat what I did on this side on that side. Does that make sense? Okay. Then, of course, when you get to the end and you have a border over there, you knit the border stitch, you turn the work. Now you're on the wrong side. You're going to, on the border, knit every row, then purl the stockinette stitches, which are here. That's why I'm laying mine out so you can see. You will purl on the wrong side the stockinette stitch, or you want, should I turn it? And then you will work the steek. Knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Here, again, even on the wrong side, you will purl the cat's paw stitches, just like we did on the stitch tutorial. Then here's another, here's the second steek. Knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. And then, of course, this center section is stockinette. That means simply knit on the front, purl on the back. Turn the work, now you're on the right side, and you continue. Now, when you have about 4 rows, you can go back. Like I'm going to, of course, I'm going to put that link right over there in the comment section so you can find it real easy for stitch tutorial number 12. And then once you start the cat's paw, then you just start, you work across and start including it on row 1. You work row 1, continue across, work row 1 on the opposite side. Just know that you have 2 sides. So don't wind up thinking, oh, row 1, then do another row over there. It's row 1 on this side, row 1 on that side. Row 2, row 2, row 3, row 3. Does that make sense? So that's how it looks once the markers are all in place. And this is how simple it looks when it's laid out. All right, let's see if I can think of something else I need to add before we go up to the top. So this way, you can go ahead, you'll start working now. The stitch is already done. I'm going to put the link in the comment section if you need to go back and check it. I didn't write out the stitches because there's only 6 rows, so you can easily write it out from stitch tutorial number 12. And if you need to see me knit the rows again, if you're still fairly new and you need to see me knit each row, then you can watch that simple part. Just skip over to where I'm knitting row by row and it's on the screen. I'm not going to do that on here because now most of you are seasoned enough. You'll just start knitting and you'll go all the way up to the top. The next thing you need to do on your schematic is decide on how the length of your back that you need to go up to. I'm going to go ahead and use 20. One time I said I was going to stop, but it just didn't work out right. I'm going to move all my little strands. So I am going to be working. I'm using 20 because it always just works out nice and even when I work with the number 20. So that means I'm going to continue to work. Let's see how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 15. It took me about 15 repeats of the cat's paw to get all the way up to close enough. Stop about an inch or so, a little bit, an inch and a little more, whatever, when you finish row 6, the purl row, and then you turn on the right side of the work. You should have at least an inch or a little more of before you get to your number that you want to get to. So I stopped about 18.5 or somewhere. It fell about 18.5 inches up, which will give me space because once I finish row 6, where I purl, then I'm going to start knitting and getting ready to separate the neck. Now this is where I will meet back up with you once you have knitted your length, the back length you need, all the way up. You've taken care, you've watched your steeks, you didn't fall asleep. Every once in a while, hold your steeks up and see if you can see a nice row of eyelets all the way down, like that you didn't miss any. Just take your time and just work up. And then once you get up to, like I say, to the number that you need, like I said, it took me about 15 repeats. In row 6, I purl, and then I'm on the right side. We will start knitting across and getting ready to set in markers and take care of getting the neck set up, getting ready to separate the neck from each front. Does that make sense? See, now wasn't that quick and easy? So I'm trying to think of anything that I really need to do on this. I didn't want to get into too much because I wanted to keep it very simple so that you say, okay, Jay, I know what to do now. And like I said, I already have the stitch video, so whew, that took a lot of pressure off. Let me just check one more place and I'll come back and make sure I didn't leave anything out. But so far, isn't that a pretty color? Doesn't that look pretty? Oh, it just looks like a field of pretty flowers. I think I'll have a special song for you this week too, over in my comment section. It's a surprise. Tell me if you like it. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute just to close this one off and see if there's anything that I left off on Jay's the Cat's Paw Wildflower Lace Sweater. See, can I get the name right? Alright, back in just a minute. Well, since I didn't find anything that I needed to add so that you can go ahead and start working on the sweater, those who are going to knit with me, this beautiful sweater. But I did want to come back and show you, for those who watched the stitch tutorial number 12, when I worked the cat's paw row by row, and I gave you some smaller projects, let you know that I am working on this little, I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. You know, if it's going to be like a little throw or if it's going to be something else. But it's just a nice, the pattern is laid out, I laid it out, I think, really well. And I think it's on the stitch tutorial. It's called a little small afghan. I guess it could be a little lapkin, or it could be something for somebody who's maybe going to have a little baby or something. I don't know. But I was just working in some inexpensive yarn just to practice so that I can share with you the pattern and show it to you in different weights of yarn, which is what she would had, you know, suggested or shared in the book, the Shetland Lace Stitch Book by Elizabeth Lovick. So I thought, yeah, let's see how this looks. So far I'm having a good time. This would be beautiful in a thicker weight to make a beautiful scarf. You know, not this wide. You know, maybe you could just do 2. Maybe, you know, do it like that. You know, you could. But look at the formula. I gave you the formula. Play around with learning how to write up your own little one-line formulas. Oh, my friend. Oh, this is a good one. This is a little shout out to my friend Antoinetta, or Tony, out of the UK. And so she put a great twist on the last sweater she did. I can't even remember the name of the sweater, but it's the blue one with the diamonds that we worked the diamonds from Wendy Bernard's book. And she put her own twist on there. And so I showcased her work in the last Friendship album. And so Tony, you know, give me something, show me something, change something, whatever you want to do, you know, with this design, you know, be sure to let me know, and I would love to share it with all our friends. I was just amazed at your work and how beautiful it, how you just took that stitch and made it your own. And so anyone else can do the same. You know, you can add your own little touch to it. As long as it's something that I'm working off of my channel. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't do other people's patterns because that just gets into copyright. And you got to be careful. You know, I notice sometimes you know, when people don't know, or people pretend they don't know, and they don't read the fine print, well, eventually you're going to have to read the fine print somewhere, sooner or later, because people will find you out. Let's just put it that way. We'll find you out. So this way, you know, I'm giving you a nice stitch. We're making our own designs. Don't be afraid to put your own little touch on it or give me an idea. And, of course, send me some pictures. And then we'll share it and talk about it. And we will just keep improving and improving our skills together and enjoying knitting together too. So now this is Jay. I'm going to continue to work on this. I'm going to have something eventually. I'm going to get this. I think I have 3 skeins of this. So whatever it is, it's going to be nice and long. It'll be just something really pretty to keep or to give to someone. So this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. This is episode 165, part 1, or step 1 for Jay's Cat's Paw Wildflower Lace Sweater. That's what we're working on. I just wanted to show you that I am also working just a little extra too. Just because the stitch is really fun and easy. And if you want to improve your skills, remember, if you get into knitting, knitting will get into you. All right, I will see you as you work up the back of your sweater. I will continue now. I can work on across, and then I will come back when we meet up again. We will be at the neckline, ready to start working and separating the 2 fronts and binding off the neck. Take care, enjoy, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.